Welcome everyone to today's closing ceremony of the 4th edition of TechEva. My name is Anna Söderlind, as you will see on the slide behind me, and together with my colleague and co-moderator Jérôme Michelot, we will be your hosts for the next 2 hours. I must say I'm very proud to see you here in the room, here in Lausanne, and also know that with the audience that we have with us online, we have more than 600 people joining. And this is a community, the whole TechEva, that's been created the last 4 years. And on a personal note, I'm a little bit extra proud because in my role at the innovation team at Groupe Mutuel, I brought the topic of women's health 5 years ago, almost on the day. And we thought, what can we do? How can we better improve women's health? And we came up with this idea to collaborate with the EPFL Innovation Park to really create a women's health ecosystem in Switzerland. And to see now today what we have created, it's really, really motivating. And I'm very, very proud because TechEva, it's not me and Jérôme. It's not Groupe Mutuel and EPFL Innovation Park. It's really all of us together, coming together for the simple cause to improve women's health. And on top of that, today, the startups that have been in the program have raised more than 200 million Swiss francs. So we are really talking about the ecosystem, a community, we're actually also getting the financial muscles to innovate for real. So with that, I would like actually that we start to give a round of applause to ourselves for being here and for really joining in this course.
Thank you, Anna. I'm very excited to be with you as well today, recognize some famous faces, new people coming up here. And it's always a pleasure to take a moment to celebrate actually this indeed enlightening community and celebrate as well all these amazing entrepreneurs that are working day in, day out to bring this necessary innovation to the market. And actually over the last 4 years is no less than 94 different startups that have been accelerated. And for 17 of them, today is a special day because they are graduating from the TechEva program. So I would like first, before giving it over to Anna, thank you all for joining again, the sponsors with whom we could not make that happen. And I hope you'll enjoy the next 2 hours. So Anna, what do we have for today?
So today we have a 2-hour full program that will finish real Swiss style with the apéro here for the ones that are joining us in person. But before going into the agenda, just a little housekeeping note is that we are recording the session today, as we do with our events. And if any one of you, either online or here in the room, just want to not be recorded, to not appear on video, we are here, we will listen. Just reach out to any of my colleagues from EPFL and we will make sure that we follow your wishes. But here, going into the agenda, we can see that, as you said, we will have the chance to meet the startups that have been selected into the program. We'll meet half of them before the little break and half of them after. We will also have the chance to meet our colleagues from the CHUV Hospital, the University Hospital here in Lausanne, really working on a daily basis with patients. We will meet Innovo, which is the cantonal authority for innovation, as well as we will have a world-class panel on maternal health and AI. Because that is really the theme for overall today. It's maternity and how we together can improve the life of pregnant women from preconception all the way to postpartum.
And without further ado, I will welcome on stage our first speaker. Please, a round of applause. Mariana Tilano-Merinan, Head of Strategy and Innovation at Groupe Mutuel.
Thank you very much, Jérôme. Thank you very much, Anna. Good afternoon, everyone. As Anna was saying, I'm very happy to be here. Year after year, we should all be proud of what is happening with TechEva, and it really feels we are making the steps towards the right direction. I will today just want to take a step back in time. Let me go back 4 years ago when we launched TechEva together with the EPFL Innovation Park. At that time, as Anna was saying, we, in Groupe Mutuel, we recognized that there was a gap in women's healthcare. We know women have historically been underserved, under-considered, represented, and all the under that you can imagine in all the studies, and health was no exception to that. At the same time, we realized that more than half of our customers are women, 2/3 of our employees are women, and, well, half of the population are women. We, as an insurer, we have, beyond our business role, a social responsibility, and we were doing very little in that area. While we were realizing this, we also realized that we could not do things by ourselves. If you do things in a corner alone, you rarely will bring value. And this is how, for us, TechEva became the way of taking action together with other people, together of EPFL Innovation Park, but also with all the ecosystem around it. And this way, well, we thought, okay, we will bring value outside or beyond the mere scope of the industry of insurance. Today, we are here not to talk about the broad topic of women's healthcare, but about a very specific topic in it, that is maternity. I will not deep dive in that topic. I will let the experts talk in these 2 hours, and the startups show the solutions. But I want to explain why that topic, and particularly pregnancy, is an important thing from the point of view of Groupe Mutuel, of a health insurer. Well, we know, everyone knows, that pregnancy is one of the most important moments in the life of a woman and, by extension, of a family. And there, these families, these women are starting to learn how to manage multiple complex new things while also navigating a healthcare system that it's not always so obvious. And it's there where we, at least, can play our part. In that sense, and also through the work done by TechEva, we have moved towards the direction of helping the women in what we can. So basically, first, I would say the administrative burden that the healthcare system can become, but also answering specific questions through specific dedicated lines for pregnant women, and why not someday directing them to the right partners and physicians. This is where we have a role to play. This is why it's important for us, and all of what we have achieved in the last years wouldn't have been possible without TechEva. And that's why I wanted to thank everyone here in the room. And just a final note on that, TechEva, it's not only inspiring but because of the outcomes it brings, but also because of the way it's done, a collaborative way with an ecosystem, everything like in a transversal way, which is not always obvious, particularly in the healthcare industry. An end note on that, we still have a lot to do. We can do more, we want to do more, and we must do more on that topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mariana. And let me introduce you now, the second speaker, Lan Zuo-Gillet. She's Managing Director at the EPFL Innovation Park and the overall program lead of the TechEva initiative.
Hello, good afternoon. Very pleased to see you all here in Agora, the Cancer Research Center, which is the partnership between Groupe and HUG, two of the most best hospitals in the world, also in collaboration with EPFL and Geneva University Lausanne. So it means a lot to us to associate with our initiative with healthcare big players, as well as a network of healthcare professionals. Now, if we talk about why EPFL Park engage in health, women's health, First of all, we enjoy a very rich ecosystems of life science together with high-performing startups, corporates, and also world-class research laboratories. Secondly, EPFL Park has been showing track record of bringing startups to success. And effectively, we have been running vertical startup programs for some time. And we every time succeed in building systems, building ecosystems of collaboration between all these big players. Now, women's health for us is a way for us to make an impact. We set up a very ambitious goals, which is to create an innovation platform in Switzerland for disruptive FemTech startups worldwide to join forces with forward-thinking corporates in order to advance and improve technology for women's health. And this initiative actually also aligns with the lots of United Nations sustainable goals. For instance, to ensure healthy and populations. This is a word of half of the population, if we talk about women, and also to improve the education and knowledge of women about their own health, to develop tailored women solutions so as to decrease the burden for the society and also to facilitate their integration into the workplace to create economic value and reduce the inequality. And it is also about create a very sustainable product and business model for the women's product for their everyday life. So in 4 years, we've been doing a lot to advocating the importance of women's health and also to showcasing disruptive women FemTech technologies. With 8 large-scale conferences, 19 international roadshows, over 350 speakers, and countless social media campaigns, TechEva is becoming a well-recognized brand of thought leadership and see its community growing every day. Now we have invitation from others to invite us to provide content for women health-related conferences or events. We are also invited to enter into collaboration with other players in FemTech space. We're asked to share our experience and also to work with others. But TechEva is not only about speaking and also about conference. It is about bringing tangible support and measurable results to all the startups that we are helping. So it is about to connecting 94 TechEva startups with a wide network of industrial experts and mentors whom we continuously identify and recruit. It is about business introductions and investors for them to grow. It is also about organizing deep dive knowledge workshops and also moderating peer-to-peer CEO help each other sessions. So our very tangible support has attracted more and more FemTech startups around the world. In 4 years, we have got 570 applications from 64 countries. We are very pleased to see that our corporate application now goes to all the continents. And while many of the applications coming mainly from Europe, UK, and US, increasingly number of applications now coming from Global South countries. Regarding the number of applications, you can see a steady growth. It reached to 189 applications this year. You may notice that selected startups, number of selected startups are slightly decreasing. This is first of all because we are more selective, and secondly, because we have really limited operational resources, less than 2 full-time equivalent. So we choose to focus on more mature startups to facilitate their market access and fundraising. TechEva is about creating societal impact. So among 94 startups that we have accelerated, 33 of them are help to improve standard of care, try to develop specialized woman-specific solutions. And 51 of them are contributing to improve the prevention and also well-being. 40 of them are foster solutions that can break the financial and geographic barrier by developing startups self-monitoring solution at home so that can suitable for remote countries. And also other 21 startups are developing a solution that for developing countries. 11 of them are trying to bridge the gap between gender differences in healthcare, and 5 of them are developing products that are using sustainable, environmental friendly materials and business models. Finally, TechEva is about fostering a better collaboration between FemTech startups as well as healthcare professionals. So by involving healthcare professionals early on in the early iterations, by understanding their needs, FemTech startups can ensure their max access and also to reach to the customers. I'm very proud to present the whole portfolio of FemTech startups. 94 of them, they cover almost all the area of about women health, from period health to fertility, to maternity health, to menopause and oncology, etc. Many of them are already on the market, and some of them are still in clinical trials and also in pilot projects. Today, we make a focus on the maternity health. Our colleagues already spent. And maternity health is a cornerstone of societal well-being. The healthy mother and healthy children can ensure a better next generations. They help also lower medical expenses, higher productivity for women at workplace. Maternity health is very important also for developing countries, because they help to break the cycle of poverty, ensure proper prenatal and newborn care so that it can avoid mortalities. Today, TechEva conference is also the closing event for our 4th startup accelerators. And the graduating TechEva startups now are joining our larger TechEva alumni. To this, I would like to really thank all the mentors and everybody is contributing to make this happen. And also would like to congratulate all the 16 startups for the progress they have made. So the end of acceleration programs is only the beginning of next networking and also business partnership within a larger TechEva alumni. I would like to also thank all the mentors that involved in this program, their dedication and their generosity for their time. And thanks for Mutuel for their commitment and also for their financial support. There is still a lot to do. As I said, we need to make more impact, reach out to more startups in other countries. So if you know anyone, if you are a sponsor, if you are donors, or you any company that feel sensitive about women's health, please talk to us and at the end of this conference. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Lan, for your presentation. And I must say, as we saw the graphs of how for each time we have more and more applicants, it's very, very motivating. And it's also very, very great to see that Switzerland becomes really the epicenter for this world movement of FemTech. And FemTech wouldn't be anything if we wouldn't go back to really the core, the hospitals, the doctors, where actually a lot of the interaction with regards to maternal health happens in Switzerland and beyond. So for that, I'm proud to present for our keynote speaker, we have Stefan Köhler, that is the Deputy of Innovation at Groupe, and Basil Pash, that is Chef de Clinique at the Gynecology and Obstetric Department. So please give a warm hand of applause to them, and this floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I must say I'm really impressed by the community that you've managed to create through your FemTech Accelerator. So it's quite impressive to be here before you. Thank you for having the Groupe on board and for organizing this here at Agora. So I represent the Innovation Office at the Directorate of Innovation and Clinical Research at the Groupe. And as such, wish you welcome to this conference. Today's event, as you heard, is dedicated to the topic of maternity. So I need to start with a disclaimer. As a man, husband, and father of two, my experience of maternity is only secondhand. Nevertheless, I'm dedicated to advancing women's health technologies and pushing for more equitable healthcare practices. So pregnancy can be a wonderful period in a woman's life, but it's also a very vulnerable period. I was born in the 1960s, just a few years after the thalidomide disaster that really caused terrible suffering for the families and their children that were born with malformations due to the teratogenic effects of the drug. So this tragedy has exacerbated the historical underrepresentation that Mariana already pointed out of women in clinical trials. The exclusion of pregnant and breastfeeding women from clinical trials has really created a scientific void and rendered this population therapeutic orphans. So even today, the labeling of most approved drugs does not provide sufficient information on safety or efficacy during pregnancy. So this forces pregnant women, but also the healthcare providers, to navigate their health without the assurance of reliable biomedical innovation. Maternal health has gained increased attention across the globe when it was included in the Millennium Development Goals. That was a quarter century ago. However, even today, the reporting of sex-specific results in clinical trials remains at best inconsistent. For instance, a recent study on COVID-19 trials has shown that only 20% of these trials actually report sex-specific outcomes. So this gap is emblematic of a broader issue in healthcare. Too often, women's health needs are seen as secondary or less significant within the larger healthcare narrative. This is why initiatives like the TechEva Accelerator are so important. They represent a concerted effort to raise awareness and to reduce the inequality by fostering innovative solutions and meet the specific needs of women throughout preconception, pregnancy, childbirth, and lactation. So today we will hear about promising technological innovations, which I hope will truly generate desired outcomes for women, improved health. As a counterbalance to technology-driven innovation, I would like to mention two noteworthy projects here at the Groupe that exemplify how simple yet innovative solutions can have a profound impact. First, there's this method called skin to skin, where hospitalized newborns are in constant contact with the skin of their parent. This not only gives them higher chances of survival, but also reduces the hospital stay and has a positive outcome on their development. And secondly, there's the Groupe Lactarium that organizes donations of maternal milk and thereby plays a significant role in saving preterm babies. So I will just close with this testament to the importance of two essential pillars of healthcare that we must cherish and not lose sight of. As citizens, as healthcare companies, healthcare providers, insurances. And these pillars are generosity and human touch. So I hope you enjoy the conference. Congratulations to the cohorts that will graduate today. Thank you, and I think it's time to speak more about research. And I would like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Basile Pache. He's from the department called Woman, Mother and Child. He's one of the doctors involved in several research projects in gynecology and obstetrics, and he will present these projects on behalf of his unit. Dr. Pache, the microphone is yours.
Yep. Hello everybody, so my name is Basile Pache. I'm one of the senior registrar here in Lausanne in the Department of Gynecology and Obstetric. I am more than pleased to welcome you here in Lausanne, and I must say thank you. It's really heartwarming to see how many technologies and how many new projects are being developed for the health of our patient, because of course we are talking about half the population, but here today we're talking about 100% of my population I'm taking care of every day. I must say that I'm only one piece of the big puzzle at taking care of the patient in Lausanne. So the hospital is a big family, and we all working together for the health of our patient, and we really rely on new technologies, on new developments, on new ideas that tech and people as you are bringing each and every day. So thank you. The title of today is a bit tingling. So is the clinical research in public health institutions still relevant? I could list all the projects we are currently developing in our units, but it would be not boring, but it would be maybe not the idea today, because you have so many great projects to show us that I am just eager to see them. So the idea of today was a bit more to go back on the challenges we are facing each and every day in clinic, and maybe to give you small insights about what we need and what we are waiting, and maybe things that we can bring in order on the table in order to work together. So I have no conflict of interest. I'm a civil servant, and the views and opinions expressed here is just mine, and of course it's not the official point of view of the Groupe or whatsoever. When we're talking about research in public hospital, we can divide it in fundamental and clinical, and here today it would be more about clinical research. And why are we talking about clinical research is it's one of the mission of the public hospital. It's in their status, and it's really important part of our daily work. And why should we talk about that? It's because we love to take care of our patient by improving their health in general and to bring new solutions. And of course, why we talk about it, why do I talk about it, is because it's part of my job, and because it's days like today that make everything we do relevant. So on one side, the beauty of it, of the clinical research, it's contributing to the patient improve outcome through new ideas, new technologies, new whatsoever. And what is great in research in general, but clinical research, is it's a teamwork, and we are dealing with people, and which is the core, the essence of my job, basically, and to have new discoveries and new things each and every day. So I love to wake up every morning, or to not sleep at all. So to introduce this, the dark side of the clinical research. In clinic, there is usually no dedicated time for our research. The two slides here, it's more about the hours we spend in clinic taking care of our patient. So when we have to add the clinical research, the small projects we want to develop for our patient, usually it's done during nights, weekends, and I'm pretty sure you are doing the same. Even though if it's not in public hospital, but also in private tech companies, I'm pretty sure that nights and weekends are also quite busy with your project. As always, the problem is money, money, and money. I'm pretty sure you read lately the small problem of money each hospital and each countries whatsoever. Everybody needs money, and the problem is, as you said, there is limited amounts of money available for projects, and we are also in clinic. It's hard for us to find money to develop project because, as I will say later, it's sometimes hard to attract the companies to give us money for things that are maybe not shiny or that have no much return on investment. We're also facing many pitfalls like ethic committee that are very important because they are the guardian of the gates to be sure that each and everything is here to protect the patient, their rights, their health. It's good because there have been some things in the past that shouldn't have been done, and ethical committee are here to protect the interest of the patient and also the interest of the research in general. There is always new regulation, new safety procedures, safety monitoring things that are implemented, and data management is each and every time harder. There is more and more data. I'm pretty sure that most of your companies are dealing with the increasing number of data that we have to store, that we have to monitor, and this is also challenging since our first job is not this. We're taking care of patients, so we must learn also take to manage those things, and we need specific training, accreditation, and refresh courses each and every time. So this is quite time-consuming, and as I told before, it's most of the time done during our day off, weekend, or not night. So, why do we do it? Is it for the money? Is it for the glory? Is it for the passion? For the money, you can go on internet, write down salary of chef de clinique CHUV, and you will know how much I earn each and every month. There is no secret. So either I work the normal hours, or I stay up late. I mean, it's the same money, so definitely not this. For the glory, I don't think so, but definitely for the patient. And one of the most challenging point for us in clinic is how do we rate the success of our clinical research project in public hospital? Because in in private company, let's say, you can maybe rate the success of how much money you raised, or how many investors you attracted, or how many products you sold, or for us it's a bit harder. So when we have a research project, or when we have publication about the research, okay, we could publish the project, the paper. Is it how many times we were cited for our publication that reflect our success, or is it how much money we raised for our project? How many patients we saved? Is the patient a unit? I don't know. Is it a promotion we could get thanks to the project we developed in our hospital? Because part of the job in public hospital for the professor is driving projects. Is it a reflection of the success of the project? And also, I don't know, should we count the number of sleepless nights we dedicate to our project, and we get a point each and every time? I don't know. What could be the incentive we could ask, or we would love to ask to have? Definitely dedicated time. We would love to have more time to develop our project. The more time we have, the more time, the best quality our projects are. I am pretty sure it's the same for you. Time is the core problem in everyday life. And patronage and mentorship, for us it would be definitely important, and today the Tech Forever mentorship is the perfect example of what we could need in our public hospital. So you are quite lucky to have it. I'm pretty sure you are well aware of that. Also to identify the young and promising colleagues that have keen interest in research, and also, as I said, money is le nerf de la guerre. So to have specific access to money could and will definitely be something good for development of public hospital projects. And we are quite lucky at CHUV. We have institutional dedicated support structure that is called the Centre de Recherche Clinique that help us to develop our projects, that can guide us through each and every step of our projects. They are very, very qualified, and we are very happy to have them. So it's kind of the same mentoring things you have with the Tech Forever. So here the Centre de Recherche Clinique, they have a different aspect they can help us with. So it goes from the methodology of our project to the data management and everything. So what about you and us? There were one article published in our Revue Médicale Suisse, which is the journal the doctor in the French-speaking part of Switzerland are reading every week. That it was last year, and they were introducing some FemTech technologies and the relationship that we are having together, let's say this way, and it's I would recommend you to read this article. It's kind of the resume of what I'm saying today. Public and private research and innovation. Is it like a boxing match? Like we cannot work together and we have to fight for the same thing? Is it like water and oil that we cannot be mixed together and it's impossible to work together? Or is it like good and evil, like the bad private companies that want to make money and the good public servants, or the bad public company that are lazy and work 9 to 5 and the good private company that want to help? I mean, we can see the two ways. For me, I see it more like we can work together. I'm pretty sure of that. I've seen quite a number of good examples for that. So I'm pretty sure that public and private research groups can work together and drive innovation. So why should public hospital need a startup? We need you because we need some fresh mind. Sometimes we are stuck in our day-to-day clinic. We are stuck in our paperwork and we need some fresh air and some fresh mind. So we need you. We need people that are able to think out of the box. Sometimes we're a bit short-minded. We need external output. We need people that are out of our field of experience, expertise, so they can bring things, interesting new things in the new topics in the discussion. As I said, external expertise. Let's be honest, also to bring some financial capacity to our projects, and also to bring the worldwide network the private companies have, that sometimes for us is difficult to develop in our public hospitals. And specifically, why do we need FemTech? As it was introduced before, it's 51% of the population, the female population. Of course, as I said, for me it's 100% of my population, and it's been roughly included in only 30% of the trials that have been run till now. It's important, the FemTech, because it helps to develop responses to some very specific female condition, such on medication, as it was said, new devices and other observation or strategies, and you are able also to raise the population awareness through other channels than the one we are using, because you are very good at advertising, you are very good at bringing new ways of attracting people interest. So thank you and well done, because we're very bad at this. So I would say we are more like communicating vessels. So when some private companies has some idea, and public companies, public hospital groups, they have idea or project, the idea is to have the projects flow from one group to the other, and to work together. So from the clinic to identify a clinical question or a specific need for the patient, and to go to those companies that can bring all I was previously mentioning. And the other hand, also from the FemTech or from the startup, they can come with new strategies, new idea, new technologies, devices or whatsoever that are very, very helpful for the health of our patient. So it's a wonderful occasion to collaborate for our patient health. I mean, I could just summarize in saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. It's a bit, say, a boring phrase, sorry, but together we are stronger. Of course, working together, sometimes it's there is some pitfalls, there is some financial constraints that can rise. We have some time constraints also. We sometimes don't have the same agenda. You need to give answer to people that are lending you money, and sometimes since the hospital, they don't have the same pressure, sometimes we don't speak the same language, so it's really important to be on the same level, and to be together on the same table, and to be sure we speak the same language, as I was saying. For us, the problem of conflict of interest is here, because as we are working in a public hospital, there are things we cannot do. We cannot earn money from private companies at the same time we are working full-time in a public hospital without some very specific agreement. So we have also to be careful about that, because there has been some problems in the past, and if we want to be like good angel and the people to trust us, we have to do it the right way. So this being said, the improvement we can bring together are here. I have example. For instance, one of the project, the ASPIVIX project, for instance, that was developed through the TechEva incubator program. We tested it at the maternity unit. It was great to have the people coming and see how it was working on the clinic, and we learned a lot working together. So it's just one of the many examples we had, and just by to finish my talk. To answer the question if it's relevant, yes it is, the clinical research in public hospital. On the website of our department there is all the research project and all the research units. I'm really proud of all my colleagues that are spending much time of their own time on research. And in conclusion, final conclusion, I would say it is possible only through teamwork and dedication. So teamwork with our colleagues and dedication of you and the understanding of your family when you are not home on time for lunch. So thank you very much for your time, and happy to answer some questions.
Thank you, Basil, and thank you, Stefan, for giving us the opportunity to learn more about SHUV and realize how important innovation in women's health is to close the gender gap in research, and how actually it can help reduce your sleepless nights, right? So we're moving now to the first pitching session. You're going to be hearing a group of very international startups, 8 startups from 7 different countries. And while the first one is getting ready, 2 important remarks. For those in the room and online, if you want to get in touch with them, please visit the website www.techforeva.ch or engage with the team. We would be happy to facilitate any introduction. And for those who are going to pitch, please, kind reminder, it's going to be 2 minutes sharp, and Anna and myself will be quite sharp on that, thanks to the watch I wear, and we have some signs between each other. So without further ado, let me welcome the first startup online, Hormonal, with Yasmin Tagesan, a UK startup that is working on reinventing women's health through artificial intelligence and at-home testing. Do we have Yasmin online?
Yeah, I've been here. I've got my slide ready. I'm wondering if you can see it.
Okay, so let's start with you. Yes, Yasmin.
Can you see my screen, my slides?
We don't see it. We see it. Sorry, I was not seeing it. So ready when you are?
Okay. Let's do it. So my name is Jasmine. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hormonal. Hormonal health sits at the very center of women's health, impacting every aspect of our life on a daily basis. Today, 80% of all women suffer from a hormone-related issue, which in turn affects our menstrual, reproductive, and menopausal health, as well as our general well-being. But the biggest problem of all is that hormonal conditions are impossible to diagnose with a one-off blood test due to their individual fluctuations. So Hormonal is revolutionizing hormone health through AI and at-home testing. Thanks to our patent-pending innovation, women can easily measure, track, and optimize their hormone levels from home. The core of our product is our app, where women get insights about their cycle and hormones along daily actionable tips on what they can do to optimize their hormone health. But we've also spent the last 4 years developing our easy-to-use urine tests, which are the first fully quantitative at-home hormone test, testing for estrogen, progesterone, and FSH, the most essential biomarkers for women's health. You simply dip the test in your urine sample, scan it with the Hormonal app, and receive your lab-grade results within 15 minutes. With over 90% accuracy in comparison to the 50% accuracy of a finger prick blood test, we have completely removed the need for a lab, offering a true at-home solution for continuous hormone monitoring. And for the rapidly growing market that we can see is hormone health that affects over 1.4 billion women. By combining an individual's hormone levels with their logged symptom and cycle data in the Hormonal app, we can really offer true effective treatment options and the world's first end-to-end solution for hormone health. Through innovative testing technology, computer vision, and AI, we have developed the first at-home diagnostic tool for hormone health, making hormone health accessible to everyone. And we're not just disrupting an industry. We are pioneering a future where women will have the tools they need to optimize their health every single day. We are currently interested to talking to anyone interested in this area. We're raising £3 million, and we currently have 1.2 million still available. Or if you're just interested in our technology for any kind of research purposes, please come find me or connect with me. I'd love to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you for being on time. So let's move now to Care Annex Innovation with Aditya Kulkarni, an Indian startup that is leveraging digital technologies to facilitate the diagnosing and monitoring of women's health, and that recently went into a partnership agreement with the venture UNICEF Found. Aditya?
Sure. Yeah, are my slides visible?
Yes, now I'm right.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Aditya Kulkarni, founder and CEO of Care Annex Innovations, a digital health startup focusing on women's health from India. At Carenex, we focus on AI-based solutions which tackle different women health-related issues. We developed FitoSense in 2020, which was fetal and pregnancy monitoring platform and has been able to generate over $3 million of revenue and is operational over 1,000 hospitals all across India. Recently, we have developed Syndicorpo, which is on the same principle, a point-of-care cervical cancer screening solution, which is to be launched in early 2025. We developed Syndicorpo because in a country like India, there is a gap in cervical cancer screening. Typical screening methods involve commonly used visual assessment and pap smear-based tests, which are subjective, not very accurate. And on the other hand, there are gold standard techniques, which are HPV DNA, which require lab setup, are expensive, and hence are not widely available. So we developed something in between, which is a non-invasive technology, which can screen cervical cancer instantly and produce results as accurate as that. We are raising a bridge round of $500,000, out of which almost 55% of the matchmaking has been done. We believe that after launching Syndicorpo, we will break even in next 18 months, and thereafter we'll be going for a scale up. We have been recognized by many organizations from time to time for the innovations in women healthcare space. We have a strong interdisciplinary team to back our vision and work, and we believe that we'll make a substantial difference in women's life by our innovations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Aditya. Let's now move to the third startup, CC Diagnostics, a Dutch with Nute van Bulzen, their CMO, which is a Dutch in vitro diagnostic manufacturer that designed a superior test for cervical cancer screening using epigenetic markers. Nute, are you here?
Hi, how are you doing? My name is Nute van Bulzen. I'm the co-founder of CC Diagnostics, where we detect cervical cancer before it's there. Cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer in women worldwide, but it's fully preventable with regular and adequate screening. But the current screening is far from adequate. For example, my wife. 4 years ago, she got a cervical cancer test, which indicated that she had cancer. She had to go to the gynecologist, get biopsies taken, and after weeks of waiting, worrying and stress, she found out that she didn't have cancer, but the initial screening test was incorrect. As we still rely on the old traditional microscope for all our diagnostics, we miss around 24% of cancers. CC Diagnostics can detect up to 97% of cancers, while being 6 times faster. For women, the process becomes easier, as women can collect their own sample instead of having to go to the doctor. We tested more than 4,000 samples, showing superior performance. And we offer our patented technology in this kit format to diagnostic laboratories. During the TechEva program, we finalized a clinical performance study showing 100% cancer detection. We expanded our team and we validated our production process. We got our first paying customers, diagnostic laboratories in the UK and in the US, where people pay out of pocket for screening. These CLIA laboratories, they performed an in-house validation. They offer our technology as a screening service. And because of our superior performance data, big diagnostic companies in our industry got interested, and under NDA we're in discussing strategic collaborations with them. You can help us by introducing us to your local diagnostic laboratory or distributor to bring this technology in every laboratory across the globe. Cancer is complex. Our solution is clear. We detect cancer before it's there. Thank you.
And now it's my pleasure to welcome on stage Marie-Agnès Doucet from Calico Biosystems, a Swiss startup that has developed a platform to predict reliably the efficacy of anti-cancer drugs at preclinical stage. So Marie-Agnès, yeah.
You can hear me well? Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marie-Agnès. sorry. Yes. CEO and co-founder of Calico Biosystems. Calico Biosystems is predicting life-changing drugs for cancer patients. And in the next decade, cancer will kill 1 in 6 individuals. The problem we are addressing is the poor efficacy of anti-cancer drugs. And roughly only 10% of cancer patients benefit from approved drugs. This is a median, so it is masking disparities. Each drug costs $1 billion to develop. So why is that? Why such a poor efficacy? It is because the model we use for efficacy systems, for efficacy testing, are artificial. And they fail to recapitulate the complexity and the heterogeneity of cancer. So at Calico Biosystem, we have developed CaliPower. This is our minimal sellable product and also our differentiation. Instead of using this artificial model system, we test drug directly in patient tumor, and we reliably predict drug efficacy in patient. So thanks to our innovation, drug developers can move their drug confidently to the clinic, and the patient benefit from more potent drugs. So these are our objectives and achievements to date. We have 2 minimal sellable products. We have conducted 7 studies and showed validation of our approach that match clinical responses. The market we are targeting is huge. It's $20 billion per year. We contribute to a reduction of the cost of drug development by 43%. And finally, in 2029, we will become the leader in preclinical testing. This is our team. We have assembled a very strong team with key stakeholders from the clinical oncology and also the private sector, so drug developers. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Marianne. Yes. Now move to the next startup, Baby Index, with Zazon Bodo. So Baby Index has developed a revolutionary, saliva ovulation testing app paired with a FDA-approved microscope to analyze the saliva crystals so that you can enhance your chances of pregnancy. Zazon?
Yes, welcome everyone. I'm just opening the presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent, okay. And it's the presentation on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, it's the line, it comes like this. Okay, so we are Baby Index. I'm Zazon Bodo, one of the co-founders, and what we are doing is the digitalization of the saliva ovulation test. The ovulation test has been in use already for more than 50 years, and this comes with the crystallization of saliva crystals. This happens when the cervical mucus is the most fertile. It's 2 days before the day of ovulation, and the structure of the cervical mucus changes, and so does the saliva itself. So it's really the best real-time indicator, just like cervical mucus, to pinpoint the day when the probability of pregnancy is the highest. How you do it? You do it with a little microscope. You put some saliva on the microscope, you let it dry, and you can see crystals. Instead of looking at the crystals yourself, you can take a picture with our mobile application and you see the results on the screen. There are competitors who are doing the same concept. Basically, it's Oval, Nowen, and Fertinex. Fertinex is supported by Harvard. They developed the AI algorithm. At the same time, we have a patent that we got last year, and we are very happy to develop it further. If you are interested in the whole story, please contact me. Maybe that's for a teaser enough. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Zazon. And now it's a pleasure to welcome on stage the second Swiss entrepreneur, Giovanna Di Pasquale from Hero Support, that is on a mission to advance radiation therapy, featured in the top 100 and winning one of the Mass Challenge prizes this year.
Thank you very much. So I'm the CEO of Hero Support, where we produce personalized immobilization devices for cancer treatment. And our first mission is to help breast cancer patients. I'm not going to say, give you the numbers, but maybe one thing important to understand is that there is, as Marianne said, something to do, but even more. We have to do something because there will be an increase of 40% by 2040, and we are getting more and more younger women, which will have side effects we will have to deal for. So the number, we will have an increase also in the medical health bills. So our solution is Menstrual, is a solution to help the hospitals better treat cancer patients while radiating the breast, avoiding the healthy tissues, including improving the comfort, the dignity of the patient. It is not just an idea. We tested it on 20 patients. We can be super precise, we can be fast, and we can reduce the time to position. And it is extremely easy. This is what we need. We need solutions that are fast to implement in our hospitals without needing too much training, because we will also need not only more machines for this 40% increase, but also more people. So we are now in the certification phase, also thanks to an InnoSwiss grant we have, and we are looking for raising 1.5 million to move to the market faster than we want. We want to be next year already in the hospitals and delivering our solutions to patients. We have informal collaborations already ongoing with different hospitals, Swiss and EU. And we are going to do this, we are doing this thanks to a small but strong and growing team, where together with me we have an expert tech, Johan. We have Pauline helping for the certification. We have Laurence, who's doing clinical data, because as we discussed, to move to hospitals, we need to do clinical trials with patients, and this is very important. And so also Michael Sandu, that has been working in the medical device fields for more than 30 years, will be helping us. He's been working for Varian today, Siemens. So with this, I want to thank you for your attention, and please come to me if you want to join us in this fight against cancer.
Thank you, Giovanna. So 2 left before short break. And now we are welcoming Endocure with Adas Zizo. Endocure is an Israeli startup that is using robotic AI-powered ultrasound imaging to do a complete mapping and precise mapping of the endometriosis lesions.
Thank you very much. You see my deck?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm Dr. Adas Zizo, the CEO and founder of Endocure. What we are doing in Endocure is transforming the two-dimensional, very, very operator-dependent ultrasound, as you know it today, to 3D high-resolution objective imaging, more similar to MRI, for the sake of improving the lives of millions of women worldwide. And I want to show you why Endocure is a really impactful company. Going forward, just a second. Okay, so the problem that we solve is endometriosis, a very frequent condition affecting 200 million patients worldwide, definitely not a niche, or 10% of reproductive age women. And one of the problems with this very difficult condition is inadequate diagnosis, where you can see the patient's journey today in a vicious cycle of trial and error, starting with suffering from pain, irregular menstrual cycle, and infertility, going through ultrasound and MRI that shows nothing, being dismissed, unfortunately nowadays with the sentence, "It's in your head," visiting ER physicians more and more, and eventually being diagnosed by a laparoscopic surgery. All of this cost the US healthcare system $120 billion per year. With our robotic system, we can flag very, very small, invisible endometriosis lesions on the spot and provide immediate diagnosis. More than that, the physician can pre-plan the right treatment for those patients and keep monitoring for the recurrence of this very, very difficult condition. eventually even solving the issue of infertility and having 2 kids, managing the pain and living a higher quality of life. We have proved it works. We detected 1 millimeter lesions in mouse endometriosis model, where today standard methods can only detect 5 millimeters and beyond. We also scanned a first woman volunteer, and we are very excited about the results, being 75 times higher resolution than MRI. You can immediately see here the high image quality with our solution compared to the standard 5 millimeter thickness of MRI. So till today, we fundraised $2 million, mostly non-dilutive from the Israel Innovation Authority. And we are now looking for $1 million for our first in-human clinical study to begin this January and achieving FDA clearance by the end of the year. If you want to join us, you can please feel free to scan this QR code or reach me by email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Adas. And the last startup of this group, VivoSense Medical, was Sebastian Alexander. VivoSense Medical is the designer of the Ovula Ring, which is one of the most comprehensive menstrual cycle tracker with up to 288 temperature data points per day. Sebastian?
Yeah, welcome. Can you hear me and can you see my screen?
Yes and yes.
Wonderful. So, welcome. My name is Sebastian Alexander. I'm the CEO and founder of the VivoSense Medical. We are a leader in digital women's health. So we're starting the business right now more than 10 years ago where nobody was talking about digital women's health. We are focusing on undesired child wish, where approximately nearly 12 million women in Europe have current child wish and has problem to fulfill that. Why this is so? Because the medical need is that the current methods are insufficient. So the current standard of care are based on mainly 2 major points. One thing is that they are just 1-point measurements if you're taking a hormone blood sample, for instance. And the other problem is that they are still believing in the assumption of a standard female cycle, which is the 28-14 story. So 28 days and the ovulation is right in the middle. The reality is that 70% of all women are not fitting with that assumption. So each woman has a unique fertility pattern, which means in opposite that currently 2/3 of all female are not treating along their individual biology. The result or the solution is Ovula Ring. Ovula Ring is a vaginal ring pessary, which the female can wear like a tampon. And with that, we have the possibility to continuously measuring core body temperature 24/7, 365 days a year. And combined with a mobile app and a mobile software, we are have the possibility to really individual diagnose the female cycle. In the result, the possibility to get a live birth with Ovula Ring has a 37% higher reliability than in an IVF, which with more than 95% cost reduction. And the average time is not even 6 months. We have highly rated customer ratings, and we are from medical researchers proven as a new clinical gold standards. And at least for Germany, we are the only product in the fertility market which is reimbursed by healthcare insurances. We are currently raising 1.5 million in this year to reach 2 million recurring revenues and break even in the second quarter of the next year. And we have a ticket opportunity of 250K left with a pre-money valuation of 5.9 billion. So if you are interested in the company and in investing, just don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Sebastian. So now that's with my immense pleasure that I'm welcoming where did he go? On stage, you're here, sorry. One of the today's event partner, Innovo, represented by François Capel. So François, welcome on stage. François is an innovation advisor specialized in life sciences and nutrition. And we'll take a few minutes to share about what Innovo does and share a few success stories, maybe. No?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what is, so welcome everyone. My name is François Capel. I work for Innovo. So what is Innovo? We are your guide in this ecosystem. What is the ecosystem I talk about? This is this pale green dot in the world, where, yeah, so you know where is Lausanne for the one who are here, not maybe online, but we are very proud, a very proud ecosystem, and I would like to talk about this one, especially in life science. So what is life science in Innovo? We are 400 plus companies in life science, 400 plus research labs, 24,000 employees, 25% of all export of Canton of Vaud is about life science. More than 2 billion raised by Vaud-based startups since 2016, and we have 3 unicorns. We have an outstanding academic network, so we have talked about this a little bit, made of renowned universities such as EPFL. EPFL is a very well-known engineering school in the world. The CHUV is an hospital that is one of the best in the world as well, with a high R&D spending budget over 1 billion between EPFL, UNIL, and CHUV, with a large pool of talent. 70,000 students, professors, and researchers, 10% of the population, right? So that's kind of big. So that's why I was saying that we were kind of proud of our little pale green dot. So I would like to show you what this ecosystem is made of. It's a bit of a list. I won't be exhaustive though, so do not hesitate to come back to me afterwards if you need to know more. One thing I would like to highlight is a biopole. Biopole is one of, if not the largest technopole dedicated to life science in Europe. It hosts 170 plus companies in life science with shared and private labs. It creates a real ecosystem, a lively LinkedIn type of area with new buildings that is currently being built for 95,000 meters square of rental space. They have, Biopole, set up some programs, the startup funds, so with a different type of modality to fund your startup in life science, with also an accelerator that is called Vanguard Accelerator, with a iterative and iterative process through extensive interaction with experts. Another program that is not linked to Biopole is something that we have made in Innovo and with the Canton of Vaud, is called Synergy. Synergy is a program for collaborative projects. It is what do we call a collaborative project? Is a consortium of 3 companies for digital projects. And what it is really funds with a coach to be able to create a company and a project with those 3, with this consortium. There are other programs such as Leading to Scale Up. I'm sorry a bit listing all those programs. And by the way, a disclaimer, I won't be exhaustive. So do not hesitate to come back to me if you want to know more. So Leading to Scale Up, what this is a training offer to speed up the transition for startups, so from startup to scale up. It is designed for funders, basically who have raised between 1 million and have raised at least 1 million and has 8 employees. And it's a 6-month program made of 10 interactive sections led by experienced professors and entrepreneurs in collaboration with IMD. It is made and acts around 3 pillars, which is leadership, organizational design, and strategic rapid growth. We have also tools to be able to fund or to boost those companies. So first, the FIT that is made, that is offering some loans. So the TechSig loan that is 100k Swiss francs with a loan of 0% interest as a support for prototyping, and Tech Growth that is up to 500k for 2% loan for commercial acceleration. That is on one hand. On another hand, we have also the canton that is offering envelopes, 100K grants to cover innovation processes such as IP, prototyping, certification, trade show booth, market study, InnoSwiss project. And another envelope of 150K that is designed to cover employees' training. And I will finish to describe this list of tools that we have in the ecosystem by showing one that is Pulse, a biomanufacturing facility that is being built and will be delivered in Q1 next year. That is a biomanufacturing facility that will allow companies to be able to biomanufacture. And we have also this brand new facility with Clinic, General Innovation Hub, having operating rooms and simulation platform, with the radiology and radiotherapy technical platform that is really dedicated to innovation. Now, again, I'm not exhaustive and I won't be exhaustive, that's not the purpose, but it's really to show you what exists in the canton. And if we zoom out a little bit, I would like to show you some FemTech analytics data about FemTech. So what is Switzerland making in FemTech? The top 5 cantons in number of FemTech as Zurich, obviously, and Vaud. But if you look at the numbers, it's not a lot of companies that are dealing with FemTech. FemTech is mostly in terms of what are the topics that are covered in FemTech, is 55% covered by reproductive health and contraception, and pregnancy and nursing. And how does that translate into technologies? It's mostly devices and diagnostics for 48%. So I would like to show you some nice pearls, nice beauties that we have in the canton here dealing with FemTech. First, I would like to show you REA Diagnostic. REA Diagnostic is a smart hygienic pads detecting biomarkers for premature delivery. It warns your doctor in case something would go wrong. REA Diagnostic had worked with the CHUV, obviously. EPFL had grants from the FIT and also from InnoSwiss. It's just to show you how those companies deal with the tools from the ecosystem. Another example would be Anaida Technologies that, by the way, had been granted from TechEva as a company there. What Anaida technology does is a micromagnetic resonance spectroscopy to optimize embryo selections. So the goal is really to have in 1 hour a non-invasive solutions to really improve the transfer of embryos, and therefore you don't have to transfer many embryos at once. Anaida technology benefited from EPFL, the help from the canton and the FIT, and obviously worked also with the CHUV. HolyU, another solution in FemTech that is really just an app, but behind the just, there's a lot of things. It's an app to support couples through their medically assisted procreation journey. The goal is really to humanize the medically assisted procreation journey, personalized with actionable tools, also for mental health, and enhance well-being and peace of mind. And last but not least, another solution that has been developed through the TechEva program is Impli. Impli is a real-time hormone monitoring subdermal device for IVF. So, but what it does is really assist fertility specialists in selecting the best treatment by understanding the patient's hormonal profile, improve chance of successful fertilization by optimizing medication, and also identify potential issues. Impli worked with EPFL, had funds from the canton, and is based at Biopole, where they follow the Vanguard program. That is in a nutshell what are the companies that we helping, but the ecosystem is quite complex, and it's a bit the picture I would like to show you here is really to show you that it's complex, it's difficult, so we are here to help, and that's our mission here. So welcome in the canton, and I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you for showing us what makes Vaud such an attractive, canton to innovate, and why we need such organization to help us navigate through the complexity of such a set of amazing programs and tools. So now let's shift gears and talk about artificial intelligence. And with that, we have online Professor Antonia Georgieva from the University of Oxford, representing the Department of Reproductive and Women Health. And she will share a few insights about how we can use that technology to innovate further in that space. Antonia?
Hello, can you see my slides and hear me well?
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me today. It's been absolute pleasure to see the companies earlier in the day, and I come with an academic hat, but I might end up in a little bit of a company-related talk, and I will be moderating the very exciting panel right after my brief talk. So I thought I'll share with you a little bit about what we do here from academic scale of things, and you will see how that underpins some of the questions that are quite important and relate to actually how do we execute AI research for the benefit of patients and women and families in maternity. So my original background is in machine learning and AI, but that was before it was also fashionable and sexy. I dedicated my career in the past 17 years exclusively to research in maternity. The reasons for that, as many of you here in this forum know, are really the clinical impact. It's very understudied, very underfunded field of research. And these are just some numbers, mostly from the UK, where I'm based. And a lot of my talk is focused around UK. But there are a lot of things that are transferable and a lot of questions and fundamental principles that translate everywhere. So it's a very important field, and the status quo is very unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. And what I'm focused on is really how do we navigate which babies that made it to term in utero, they are healthy otherwise, they're not premature, they are not severely having any congenital anomalies or anything like this. If we did a cesarean section, they would actually be born with very good chances for very healthy life. But they enter hospitals all around the world in this kind of reasonably good condition. We cannot do cesarean sections for everyone for a number of reasons, not only costly ones, but there are risks and problems around that. And then quite a substantial number, a small proportion, but a substantial number globally would actually leave the hospital in very poor condition or even die. And this is because we don't have a good way to monitor the baby's health, and labor in particular has a lot of challenges for the oxygen delivery to the baby and getting rid of any carbon dioxide and other things. The physiology is very complex. Our knowledge is limited, and the tools that allow us to monitor continuously what happens and intervene dynamically or kind of reduce the labor stress or do a cesarean section if we have the means to in a hospital setting for the right patient. So how do we triage who needs more care? And the standard of care is the CTG or cardiotachograph, which is so ridiculous, and it's really a paper strip a lot of the time. It can be shown on a computer, but ultimately it's just showing the heart rate of the baby over and over time. It can tell us a lot of things, but they're quite limited. And some of the speakers in the panel after is kind of working a little bit on this domain as well. There are newer technologies, better technologies, sleeker technologies that can give us potentially a bit more information about the state of the baby in utero in this continuous manner that we need over many hours in a wearable format. But they are relatively new and they haven't yet generated the large-scale data, but they're getting there. And we need large-scale data for AI. And that's what I want to kind of mention. We are largely stuck in this field, right? So I'm looking forward to newer technologies. But in the meantime, what I focused a lot is in harnessing the power of data, adding it on top of that imperfect technology that we have at the moment. And I'm privileged to work with large data sets of routinely collected maternity data, so all these kind of long CTG traces together with a lot of information about the mother and the baby together with outcome data, together with data of what happened in labor, was there a cesarean section or not, but also what was the state of the babies. It's a very challenging problem because you have a lot of treatment paradoxes, it's called. It's a routinely collected data. At the same time, because it's not a research data, but it's routinely collected large cohort data, the key is in the numbers, and that's where AI is invaluable. Because yes, there is a lot of censorship of the data, there's a lot of missing data, there's a lot of kind of uncertainty in the data, but with large enough numbers, we're able to actually start seeing quite a lot of generalizable patterns of. We're not able to diagnose yet, or anytime so soon, or probably never with this technology, but we are able to navigate, and I'll show you a little bit how to triage best, and where the doctor is needed best, where the human touch should focus, and where nature can safely take its toll, and the women or families can, have as natural as possible birthing process. So this is where we said clinical decision support. It comes with so many caveats. And I just wanted to show you this kind of framework. This is a more recent result at our end. But what I want to show you is the concept. In a sense, when we are developing now these technologies, we are looking at competing with the status quo. That status quo that I don't like at all, because it's completely incompatible with 21st century. And I would urge anyone in this forum who has any resources to kind of join in this field of very long needed research in this domain. But what happens here is that, for example, now if you look at this, I've looked here at a cohort of 70,000 births, the large numbers, but only about 500 of those are severely compromised, right? Or like have some of these very, very bad outcomes that we want to predict. And some of them are more in the middle. They're these near misses cases. But what you can look at here is what happened in clinical practice for this cohort retrospectively. It costs very little at the end of the day, as long as you have access to this data, which is not trivial, but it's not as expensive as drug development or many of the other difficult research areas. So I advocate for using large, routinely collected cohorts, right? Ultimately, the price and the cost of harnessing that data is very small compared to many other fields. And then we can simulate our algorithms, we can simulate our AI. And for example, I show an example here of capping the false positive rate, in a sense saying, okay, I don't want my AI to be highlighting. Remember, that's triage. AI is not going to do cesarean section. The question is to kind of bring the doctor by the bedside when needed, but we are going to cap it. We are not going to do more interventions in clinical practice than what already has been happening. And notice this gray bar, this is actually cesarean sections or forceps or frontos deliveries. So this is actual interventions because of presumed fetal compress. And we can see how we can simulate just with these large cohorts of data that the AI would have been detecting similar number of problems, but would have been detecting it so much earlier, streamlining the obstetric care and potentially preventing a substantial number of those, and making it easier for everyone involved. So that's kind of the concept, and I just wanted to give you a flavor of how data can be used. And the remaining few minutes, I just want to focus on some of the... So that's the goal, sounds simple, but then as soon as you start doing it, there's so many different pieces of the puzzle that matter and need to be done right so that it can potentially work and help us in the clinic. So my research team is embedded in the hospital where I work, and we also work with several other hospitals very closely, and we've been doing a lot of this kind of feasibility and usability studies with our prototype decision support tools and that risk communication. Okay, we have this kind of AI or prognostic models or more simple things. How does that information display best on our digital tools in a way that works best for midwives and then doctors or families, right? And there are different stakeholders in that. And we've been very excited to do these kind of studies and keep learning on the go. And that's embedded, this co-design is embedded in what we do. And we have very good feedback by midwives and doctors. That's actually less interesting here. But what I wanted to show is some of the size and scale of the data, right? There is a lot of data that is collected routinely. The question is, as we go along on our journey here with AI in maternity in the next 5 to 10 years or even less, having access to these large data sets in anonymized format should be the norm, right? But who has access, how it has, and there's lots of caveats. So this is kind of we're privileged to have that access. And there are very interesting things you start seeing if you have cohort data over many years or from different hospitals. So I just wanted to show you here just diabetes, and this is the data from 3 different hospitals not far from Oxford. So Oxford and Cambridge are relatively similar in terms of population. And this is just the rate of diabetes in pregnancy. And you can see how the rates have been changing, but also the diagnostic criteria have been changing, right? And when we risk assess, and diabetes is one of the known risk factors, and that is involved, of course, is included in our digital decision supports because it's a known problem. You can see how, you know, if you have data spanning many years, then there are certain caveats in how you're going to model that and how is that going to affect your risk assessment. So I just wanted to give you a flavor of this kind of beautiful questions we can ask with this kind of data sets. One of the last things I wanted to touch on is, I call this a triangle. I've designed this in my head as well. When we talk about clinical decision support tools in the clinic, in the hospital where I'm focused, but of course I'm very, very interested in having this AI support or decision support also at home with the home monitoring devices. There is no need to be always stuck on the expensive hospital monitoring. But if we think about a hospital setting, how is that happening, these human factors, when you have an imperfect technology, right? When you have technology that's not 100% diagnostic, it's not 95% diagnostic. You saw the numbers I was showing you. How is that shared responsibility in this decision? How can technology support midwives and doctors who are already doing this anyway? They're risk assessing and discussing risks. So until we have a revolutionary new technology that can resolve the problem, while we have these imperfect solutions, in particular in pregnancy and labor, when women are not patients, they're not sick, they are healthy, and their birthing experiences really matter. So the last slide I was going to show here is around, we know in maternity there is a lot of biases to how care is delivered, but also some unresolved unknowns about socioeconomic determinants of health, but also ethnicity as a physiological variable that maybe matters. It's a lot of research that I think it needs to be done in this domain. And this is I just wanted to advertise to this international group, the British Embrace reports, that this is available online, that counts every year what are the underpinning reasons for maternal deaths, and there is similar for fetal and neonatal deaths. And here, I've run out of time, but I wanted to say is that when we work with these large archives, it's quite important as well to be aware of how is that going to translate to other populations, and we do a lot of that work and compare. When I said Oxford and Cambridge, they don't have a lot of this, for example, Black minorities, which actually are one of the higher risk groups, and then there are centers in the UK where they're actually overrepresented, and we do a lot of that work of how do we enrich our data sets and make sure that, because again, software is relatively cheap compared to other things, how can we make sure that it's applicable for everyone? Last slide, it's very important to have that multidisciplinarily work, network, and I work a lot on that. How do we interact between hospitals, but also hubs and accelerators in between that allow us to maybe scale using hospital. But then when I said software is cheap, a lot of you are aware here that the regulatory processes for software as a medical device are really difficult. And this is my last slide in which I say that now as an academic here, I've actually ended up having to set up the spin-out company that I present here. It's in incubation stage, but this is to take our device to the regulatory processes so it can go to a larger scale tests in the hospitals. So if I find how to stop sharing, I will. And this is all from me. I guess I will continue with the panel discussion if I'm not told otherwise. I must say that I don't hear personally yet anything from the floor, but I assume the microphones will get switched on.
Yeah, we are here.
I assume. Okay. Okay. So in the interest of time, let me kick off by asking the panelists to introduce themselves very briefly each. So I hope, that Raymond can start first very briefly, and then I'll be calling names slowly.
Sure, happy to. Thanks for having me. So I'm Raymond. I lead Women's Health Solutions at Philips. So that means is that we focus on health solutions that really support moms, people during pregnancy, postpartum, and a little bit in fertility. And I focus specifically a little bit more on the corporate venturing side of things.
Thank you. And if I can ask Pascal?
My name is Pascal. I'm in women's health actually for the last more than 10 years. I built a company based in Zurich called EPFL before, and now working on a new company in the pregnancy space focused on sub-Saharan Africa, a company called Malaika, which was in TechEva last year. We're about 40 people now, and the program is really wonderful for everybody who is here or thinking about it. It's been really amazing for us, and more about it later.
Thank you. Julian?
Yep. Hey, everyone. I'm Julian Penders. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Bloom Life. Bloom Life is a women's health company. We are developing remote monitoring technologies and specifically a device that does maternal fetal monitoring during the antepartum and labor, especially focused on antepartum. We've been at it for a couple of years now. We're commercially active in the US and looking at Europe as well. So yeah, happy to be part of the panel today.
Thank you. And last but not least, Tiziana.
So hi everyone, my name is Tiziana. I'm working at Groupe Mutuel. I'm heading the brand and marketing department, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Excellent. And let me start off by asking generally what's new and exciting in maternity care, and direct this to Raymond to kick off.
Yeah, we have been in maternal care for a very long time, actually about 50 years. So I'm really excited about the stuff that I'm hearing today from other companies. For us, maternal care is a very special space because actually we operate in both the clinical as well as the consumers domains. And within clinical, we, for instance, have ultrasound solutions that are fully portable, helping moms in remote care settings, combined with AI solutions where, for instance, with just a few strokes, you can actually do vital checking. That's what I'm really excited about. We're also working in the digital space. So a lot of people don't know this, but we actually own Pregnancy Plus, which is the world's most downloaded pregnancy app. And we're using that to reach more moms globally and then also provide access to care. And what I'm mostly excited about is really in driving more of those types of solutions that help with access to care. I think the bigger challenges that I always hear in the maternal health space, we all know high-risk pregnancies are a big topic. How do we prevent that? How do we reduce the amount of C-sections? How do we support moms with maternal and mental health? But what I'm really passionate about and what we're at Philips focusing on is how do we actually reach those moms with more solutions? So to me, the access to care thing I think is most interesting. I already was reading in the chat, there's people talking about, for instance, the impact of a community on a mom, like helping more moms to work with their own community and get support, for instance. I think that's super meaningful. These types of solutions kind of warm my heart, and it's the thing that I'm really passionate about.
Thank you. And I think that leads naturally actually to maybe going to Pascal to say a little bit about how, with Malaika operating in the global south, what are the challenges they're reaching and families and women and compared to the global north?
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about FemTech in the US, in Europe, but if you look at the numbers, there are about 300,000 women dying during pregnancy, about 1,000 in the US, about 1,000 in Europe, and about 200,000 in Africa, 60,000 in Asia. So if you look at the sheer numbers, right, we talk a lot about the 1,000 in the US and in Europe, but actually if we really want to have the impact on a global scale to reach the SDGs or the global targets that we have set, I think it's crucial to not just look at the US and Europe, but also at the Global South. So what we have developed at Malaika, and actually if we talk about Malaika, it's a majority women, it's a majority Kenyans, including my co-founder, the CEO. So I'm just a little part of the team here. But what we have developed is an end-to-end program actually to support pregnant women in Kenya currently, from the beginning of pregnancy until the baby is 6 months old. And it's complicated, right? There are no simple solutions actually to bring down this mortality. So it's really a function of addressing lots of stuff, but there are WHO guidelines, and basically we know how a safe pregnancy should look like, and that's what we're trying to reach with our kind of end-to-end program driven by Kenyan midwives.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm wheezing here through, but I'll let you have a chat about it. Let me just ask my last question under kind of this umbrella, which goes to Julian about Bloom Life. I mean, obviously, how does AI look your end? And you've been very successful fundraising recently. So can you tell us, you know, outward looking, what are you going to do with all this money? Julian.
Yep, here we go. So I think there was a lot to do, and it will take a lot more money actually get to addressing the challenges that we see. I think, you know, as Remo mentioned, I think one of the key challenges that we recognize at Bloom Life is really the problem of access to quality care. And I think those two things are important, right? So access is the first aspect, but access to crappy care doesn't help anyone. So I think you really have to work on both fronts. And I think for us, this is really where it starts. I think the challenge then, if you want to achieve that, is that in many places it's just impossible. There are guidelines. I think the problem is not the knowing what to do. I think we know what to do. There are guidelines, and I think they're pretty good. The problem is really to deliver those guidelines effectively to every single mom. I think it is challenging in the US and Europe. It's exponentially challenging in Africa, as Pascal mentioned. Right? And so what we do at Bloom Life is trying to develop the technology infrastructure that will contribute to make that happen. And it takes digital technologies, it takes medical device innovation, and it takes AI. And before AI, I would say it takes data. Right? I think, as you mentioned it in the I think AI is great, but AI is only as good as the data you get. And so I think the problem in maternal care, especially in prenatal care, is that data is missing. And I think we need to start by developing the infrastructure, the technologies that actually to get that data longitudinally during antepartum and then during labor. And then when you have access to that data, then you can start leveraging AI to actually, you know, make that data speak and talk so to speak, so that you can actually identify early signs of complications and eventually intervene better. And by doing that, you know, deliver a care that is scalable, and by making sure that you actually focus on the cases that are most important. And so that's really, you know, what we're doing at Bloom Life is building that infrastructure, trying to make the technology available to everyone. And yeah, that's kind of what we after. But you know, I think what's great about an event like today is that we need a lot more innovation to actually get there. And I think we're just a very small part of this all world of women's health and prenatal health in particular. I think it's great to see that many companies active there. There is a lot to do, and I think it's you know, we're just a small part of it, and glad to see all those companies active.
Yeah, thank you. I feel really bad for having to kind of moderate so much because we are so short on time, but I think there's so many things we would like to pick up. Let me just throw this a little bit at Tiziana, a little bit of, okay, as a larger organization, you know, as picking on Julian saying, you know, they're just a small piece. I agree with that. We're just a small piece as well. What is the role of the larger companies, also like Philips as well? How can smaller startups and, you know, very keen smaller players partner up with you? What are kind of the routes, or how do you see it, Tiziana, first? You know, at your end, what is your role?
So on our side, I would say, if I just look at partnership, like we have with Philips, that Raymond is with us, for us it's always about a win-win situation. As we said before, at the beginning, alone we cannot do anything, and we are a very small part of the puzzle of health insurance. So the recommendation would be, you know, think about scalability, think about legacy, fast to implement, easy to use. For us, I mean, as a health insurance, what is important for us is how can we help our clients? This was the decision we made. TechEva was the starting point, but then it was, okay, what can we do to be more than just, you know, payment, reimbursement industry? How can we be a partnership for our clients? And this is how we started really to improve communication, talk much more about, so on the maternity path, but also on the woman path as well. So communication is key, using social media, blogs, newsletter. We are working on defining a microsite dedicated to pregnancy. With Philips, actually, we are building this together, because Philips come with a knowledge that we don't have, but we come with other knowledge. And the idea here is really to make the life of our client, of our patient, I mean, much more easy.
And what is the role? So this is great, a collaborative approach in accessibility. But so for the smaller startups, or some of the great presentations we saw earlier today, this audience, what is your advice about how can they be part of that collaboration? So it's not just the big ones. How should they approach it? How do they? Same for Raymond.
Yeah, actually, we have a little bit of an anecdote on that, because about a month ago, we hosted an event together with Groupe Mutuel, where we had 16 companies, startups, as well as larger corporates in the insurance space come together. And there was a little bit of a chemistry in that session. There was something magical that happened to me. We had a first day where we spoke really about each other's challenges and got a really good understanding of what are these corporates trying to achieve. We had Groupe Mutuel there, we had Merck there, we had the NHS there, and everybody truly listened to the goals, the challenges, the values that these individual companies had, instead of it becoming a pitch. And I know these are like, typically you only have time for a pitch, but it gave us the opportunity to really connect and align on, okay, what do we have in common, and create that 100% transparency and create this open dialogue. And I think that is for me, the winning thing. Even when we work with startups, it's the thing that we advocate the most. It's like brutal honesty and clarity, candid clarity, that we're very certain on, this is the strategy that we have. You might fit in with that or you might not. How can we make it work? But I always try to take away a little bit, and sorry to say it out loud, but the corporate bullshit out of it. Because it is about, ultimately, we're trying to support these individuals. And if we, like Tiziana was saying, if we don't create that win-win, or even win-win-win, where you support the end user, but also both companies, if you don't have that clarity, then I think you're not going to get there. So to me, it is really about starting with that clarity in mind.
He said it all. Huh? He said it all. I cannot say better than that. Thank you, Raymond.
Okay. Can I open the panel to anyone else wanting to add from you for anything around the topic, so that I'm not so controlling?
Maybe just one comment. I mean, I've been in startup now the last 20 years, and usually really from a startup perspective, insurance companies are really frustrating because they're very, very slow, right? We've built partnerships in the US, in Asia, in many European, and it just takes a long, long time. And what is nice about Groupe Mutuel is actually they're really open now, also with TechEva, to make things much faster. So that is actually a really cool thing, that if you innovate in this space, I mean, talk to these guys, and I think you can do stuff maybe in 6 months that would otherwise take 3 years or so. I think specifically in Africa, I think it's basically the same game. So what a lot of startups do is like they do grant-funded projects, and grant funders, they would send you to the lowest income rural places in many African countries, because that's where the results are the worst, right? But I think it's very, very difficult to actually build a sustainable company like that, because you will never find a business model there, right? So what we do at Malaika is really start middle income, urban, in Nairobi mostly, really try to get sustainable unit economics, and then scale kind of from middle class urban to lower income class rural, which is a bit counterintuitive, but I really think this is the way to scale it. And in that aspect, it's actually very similar similar. The higher income Nairobi moms, they also have private insurance. So we're also actually building these ties, very similar as you would do in the US or in Europe or in Asia.
Anyone wants to chip in? Okay, and one other question I would have before we are cut off is, so I didn't get a very clear answer because there isn't a very clear route, I guess, for what can smaller companies who want to scale do to kind of partner up? How do we go? You know, it's all down to personal contacts and aligning strategy. But sometimes the smaller companies are the ones that know best actually where the real pain points are and how to address those. And so we didn't get that answer very well, I think, at this stage, but we'll keep at it. And what about smaller startups that operate in kind of the global south, as we said, and then, you know, obviously a lot of resources and funding and grants and so on are actually in the global north. So what can smaller startups that operate in the global south do so that they can partner up with larger startups or other companies in the... So again, around this previous question, but more about focus of the south and north divide. Any thoughts from anyone on the panel?
Well, maybe I can start, but one of the super frustrating things is really that the whole continent, Africa, has about 1/3 of the VC money Switzerland has, right? Switzerland is super small, right? And the whole continent with 1.4 billion people has 1/3 of the VC money Switzerland has, right? So there is so much potential. And I really think what Africa as a continent needs is the same thing that happened in China and recently in India, that it needs success cases, successful startups, it needs unicorns, it needs exits, and that then will bring more of a VC kind of, nothing against grants, but it cannot be, I mean, Gates Foundation, which is the biggest in the world, puts maybe 2-3 billion USD into healthcare in Africa, right? Which is super nice, of course, and making a difference. But the continent to really kind of get there needs $100 billion, right? And that can only happen if unicorns, if startups are starting to develop. So I really hope that this ecosystem will develop.
But do you think there is a massive opportunity with AI in this again? Because I know a lot of you may disagree, but I would keep on trying to say that I think in some ways AI is cheap, software is cheap compared to many other. It can be cheap to scale, relatively cheap. You know, nothing is cheap, but it can be still comparably much more easier to scale globally, and that's why I wanted to touch in this forum about the data that, yeah, we have some Oxford or UK data, great. You know, a lot of data needs to be made available in other settings so that some of these models can transfer learn in the new setting. But I think there is an opportunity there, and I wonder what your thoughts are, because AI, of course, you wouldn't just want to translate it, trained on Oxford, bring it to Kenya. Absolutely, but transfer learning is a thing. So basically your models are trained on data at one place, and then it means they need smaller sizes of data to retrain and adapt to the local environment, but that core is already there, and we see fantastic results across the AI community in terms of methodology. So am I right or wrong in feeling that there's a great opportunity there to actually democratize digital AI healthcare? Open question.
Ray, do you want to take it?
It's to me, it feels like a no-brainer, a little bit, because ultimately, I think especially in pregnancy, it's very difficult to predict the outcome. There's so many different challenges that can happen in pregnancy. We talk about topics in, let's say, a high-risk pregnancy that could lead to a C-section, could lead to preterm birth and all kinds of complications, low birth weight. There's a mental health topic. I think one of the challenges, when I look at all of the startups that we have around us, there's a lot of startups that are doing one thing very specifically, but to Pascal's point earlier, to achieve something that can really grow, you need sustainable economics. So I love the Malaika choice to start with something that at least can grow to something bigger. And I think the great thing to your point earlier, Antonia, is with AI, you limit that barrier. That can be used for many, many more applications where you could do risk triage that could lead to something of a more clinical, physical nature, or something that could actually lead to more of a mental health nature. Because ultimately, if we look at the second largest cause of maternal mortality in the US, it's still mental health. So having that capability to actually have a broad spectrum, I think, especially within pregnancy, is way more important, or maternal health is way more important than perhaps even in other domains, because it's such a varied field. So I hope that, especially also when it comes to, for instance, more equitable and diverse care, that AI becomes the equalizer. It's hopefully in the near distant future, but then that is definitely, I think, the direction that it's going to.
Great. Any final remarks, thoughts, comments from anybody on the panel?
Maybe if we just look it from another angle, from an insurance, which is of course different, but on our side, AI really plays a transformative role. It's really about remaining competitive, meeting the customer expectation. So we can use AIs for streamlining operation, of course, to drive cost efficiency, of course, enhance consumer experience with self-service, with personalized content, real-time support. We can also use AI for fraud detection, like data-driven decision-making. And typically, we also use AI for virtual care. So, for example, we have launched ADA. It's our symptom checker based on AI, based on, of course, doctor. It's not an AI like this. We really worked with doctors. And this is helping our clients to better understand the first symptoms and then see the next steps. So, voilà, just on this, we also have we use it. We need to use it much more, but voilà, it's the starting point. But we are really we'll invest time and money, of course, in this new journey.
Okay. I think in the interest of time, I think I might need to pass back on to the floor for the next round of startups. But thank you very much for the wonderful panel. I know we have a lot more, because we did chat before today, and we have a lot more that we can buzz about. But thank you very much, and it's been my absolute pleasure to be part of this today. And I think we are going to see some more startup pitches now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Antonia. Thank you so much, the panel. And yeah, as we saw, there is big interest. I had a few questions I wanted to ask, and I saw in the chat as well. So what I think we could do actually is then when we kick off the next year's program of TechEva, we could actually host a separate session on AI risk assessment in women's health, which I think deserves much longer time than what we actually could give it today. So before we wrap up for today, we have one final block, which means that we will hear from the last 8 startups that's been in the program. And just like Jérôme did, I will be playing the bad cop and being very strict. So there will be 2 minutes for each startups, and then I will cut in. But to start, I would like to welcome here on the screen Camilla from Mammutest. So Camilla, the floor is yours.
So hello everyone, my name is Camilla Evanfilis. I'm co-founder at Mammutest. Mammutest is revolutionizing breast cancer care with an holistic, modular, end-to-end solution designed to reduce mortality rates and address the inefficiencies of fragmented healthcare systems. By connecting awareness, screening, diagnosis, and treatment, Mammutest ensures women receive timely, high-quality care. Our developed software, Boulder, easily connects to any mammography unit at healthcare facilities, giving them access to teleradiology services by specialized radiologists supported by AI, reducing diagnostic interpretation costs up to 50%. Then at-risk patients get automatically identified by the platform to receive follow-up and assistance all the way from screening to treatment, reducing times, associated costs, and increasing the patient outcomes while generating real-world evidence. We have already served more than 1 million patients and generated $1.5 million in revenue during 2024. And we are operating already in Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Costa Rica, Brazil, and recently entering the Middle East market through Hub 71. We've got strong support from strategic investors such as Johnson & Johnson, Merck Sharp & Dohme, and Philips, and we have been recognized by international institutions too. We are opening our Series A by mid-2025, so if you are interested in joining our mission of impacting and changing the lives of millions of women around the world, please contact me at camila@mamatest.com, and I'll be happy to connect and share more with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Camila, very much. And we will directly go from Spain, handing over to US and Deep Look Medical with Marissa. So the floor in your 2 minutes starts now.
Hi, my name is Marissa Fayer, the CEO of Deep Look Medical. Sorry I can't be with you today. At Deep Look Medical, we are revolutionizing radiology efficiency and precision. In the US, there's 42 million mammograms that are performed annually, and 28% of those have additional screenings that have to happen because dense tissue is really hard to see through, and it's based on image analysis that is subjective, it's operator dependent, it depends on image quality, etc. So at Deep Look Medical, we are a real-time lesion visualization technology that overlays on top of existing imaging, and we have shown a 12% reduction in recall rates. So we're increasing efficiency and reducing unnecessary tests. We're a one-click measurement, segmentation, and visualization tool that is FDA cleared, UK cleared, Health Canada cleared, Israel cleared, and Mexico cleared. We are cleared for all imaging modalities in all health areas that have soft tumor lesions. And we're the only one that can visualize in dense tissue directly into the imaging acquisition and review process right now. So we feel at Deep Look Medical, it's time to visualize better healthcare. We are raising our Series A, which we've had a first close of, and I have already secured our lead investor. We are raising a $5 million Series A at a $12 million pre-money valuation. We have an incredible team. We're expanding into new products into the new year. We have secured and have launched commercially, and exciting news, we have our first few dollars of revenue. So it's a really exciting time at Deep Look Medical. Thank you.
Also, we will stay in the US to look more into real maternity health and maternity mental health. So please, Vital, start. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vital Start Health. Our vision is to empower family well-being for women and partners across the lifespan using the next generation of care. Here's how it works. Across the lifespan, our beachhead is maternity, and we are excited to be working with employers, health systems, and clinics to make this a reality. We're currently just getting our first dollars in through reimbursements as well as paid pilots with the ecosystem, including a partnership with Philips. I know you just heard Raymond as well. Excited that this happened through TechEva. I'm really grateful for that. And we're looking to go after employers and payers in the US together. We're projecting $10 million in revenue with our redesigned business model that enables the VR as well as the complete care delivery with a human in the loop to be at no cost to patients, all covered through insurance. We'll also be adding medication to a screen and continuing to do research, including AI. All of this is possible through a pioneering team and, out of University of Pennsylvania, our patents in the space and this complete community of support that has taken us to this space. Our vision is large. We want to revolutionize family well-being through the lens of women's health using XR as well as artificial intelligence. And for this, we need your support. Join us in our seed raise, $2.4 million, that's ongoing right now, or take us to your employer HR benefits team, or then partner with us. With your support, we can make this a reality. Thank you.
So we're going to follow the logics in women's health overall. So now we talked about maternity, and we will move on to Namida. So when the pregnant woman gave birth, rehabilitated her pelvic floor, she started to think about whether she had cancer or not. And thanks to Namida, she could figure out more to her tears. So Namida, please tell us more.
Hi, I'm Amit Moganam. I'm the founder and CEO of Namida. We're a biomarker discovery company focusing on early detection of cancer. And our first product, which has been in the market for about 1.5 years, is a lab test for early detection of breast cancer. Now, moving from the pelvic floor to cancer was quite a leap. And but just to illustrate the issue that cancer has caused and continues to grow as a concern for everyone. Cancer has now become the #1 driver of costs in the United States in healthcare. And there has been an 80% surge worldwide in cancers under the age of 50, and our screening rates are actually decreasing. Specifically in breast cancer, it is the #1 cancer of women. And the mortality in breast cancer has moved to younger populations. So now 50% of all mortality is in women under the age of 45. And at least in the United States, which spends a lot of funds and attention on breast cancer screening, only about 1/3 of women who actually do screen. What we're offering is the product's called ARIA, and it's been in academic and commercial development for over 20 years. It is a lab test for detection of protein biomarkers that are found in tears. And we didn't start in tears, but we focused on tears for specific reasons I'll come to. And we have conducted about 10 years worth of clinical trials in this space and won quite a number of industry awards. And we have worked with some of the largest players in the field in the US. And we have patented our work in a family of 24 patents worldwide. Why we focus on tears? They're clean. They're easy to collect. As you can see, our spokesmodel is using a Schirmer strip to collect the tears. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes. It allows fast, accurate, and inexpensive detection of markers. So since tears are highly concentrated, finding a cancerous signal in them is a lot less expensive than it would be in blood or any other fluid of the body. And the self-collection allows it to be done anywhere and by anyone, even the patient at home. So that's what we have focused on, and that's what's been in the market successfully. And breast cancer is not the only thing that we're focusing on. We have actually 6 other projects that are in development. A second version of our breast cancer, which is a diagnostic test, not just the screening, as ARIA is today. And we're working on prostate, pancreatic, colorectal, melanoma, and ovarian cancers as well.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we will continue the journey towards Sin Reglas that are bringing a new type of solution for women in menopause. So Gabriela from Sin Reglas, please start your pitch.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Rojas from Sin Reglas. We are the first startup in LATAM focused on comprehensive menopausal care that complements companies' diversity and inclusion efforts to improve women's health and retain their talent. Menopause is a taboo. 100 million women in Latin America, 40% of the workforce, are experiencing menopause. And we know that 9 out of 10 women have symptoms, and 1 in 2 report that menopause has an impact in their work. Investing in solving this problem is a logical decision for companies and organizations. First, in terms of talent retention and increased productivity, but also reduction of absenteeism and reduction in health expenses. We create a synergy between a B2B2C plus a B2C model plus a foundation. We offer diagnostic workshops, coaching, telemedicine, policy design, and certification. And to women, we offer Menotest, which is a diagnostic tool, menopause guide, coaching, virtual clinic, and eventually the tracker and the marketplace. We have cared for 8,000 registered users, 7,000 trained people in companies, and revenue of $150,000. We have partnered with more than 20 organizations in 2024. We have received several awards and recognitions. We have the vision, the plan, and the team to transform the experience of menopause for 1 million women in LATAM. Now we need you. We're looking for impact investment of $500,000 in 2025 and partnerships to transform the experience of menopause in the workplace in LATAM. We would love to talk to you. If you're interested, please contact me, Gabriela Rojas. Thank you.
So we are now going to listen to the last out of the presentations for today. So it will be a great pleasure to really come back to the core of what we are here for today, which is maternal health, and Galena innovations that have a new type of invention to try to decrease the risks for preterm birth. So Ashley, please tell us more.
My name is Ashley Crafton, and I am the CEO of Galena Innovations. We are developing the Hannah Cervical Cup, the solution to preterm birth. After witnessing preterm birth for years as a nurse, my patient began to show signs of birth. We sewed her cervix closed earlier, but this tore through, and she delivered a baby that was too young to survive, and I had to solve this. 15 million babies are born preterm yearly, and it's the leading cause of death for young children. Survivors face complications and hospital stays, costing the U.S. alone $25 billion yearly, with racial inequities and a 60-year tech gap. Causes are varied, but have one commonality: cervical change. In pregnancy, the collagen-rich cervix keeps the fetus inside the womb. At delivery, the role reverses, and it then facilitates birth by changing. Positive pressure through pregnancy breaks down collagen, leading to cervical change and then birth. Aside from medications that don't work and cause harm, prevention tools aim to compress the cervix closed. But this weakens the cervix and can lead to birth. Our unprecedented tool works completely opposite. The patented Hannah applies tension, causing collagen regrowth and stiffness. Stiff cervices don't change, and babies don't deliver early. We've gained traction with our in vitro and cadaver studies and safely increased cervical stiffness by 38% in our human trial. We'll be to market in 3 years, selling to developed world health systems with a current market of $1.7 billion, addressing only a sliver of the Hannah candidates, while bringing access to the developing world. We have the right team to get us there, and we'd love to have any of you involved. Through my career, I've seen that improvements for mom and baby improve families, communities, generations, and society. Let's be that change together.
So I think Ashley kind of summed it up there very well as the last pitch, that this is what we do together.
Yes, indeed, and I see very tired faces here. So thanks for surviving the afternoon with us. We're coming to the exciting moment of inviting you to an apéro. But before that, wanted to thanks again all those entrepreneurs that pitched today. Not an easy exercise. To the partners, Philips and some more. To the sponsors, it was a pleasure hosting you today. We invite you to join. We'll take a few pictures as well. Take all your staff belongings. Don't forget anything here. And Hannah, would you have any kind of breakthrough learning from today you want to share with the audience?
I think all the learnings we discuss over the glass in the upper outside, from my end, it's just a big thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come here in the room, to attend online. And it's a closing ceremony today, but the community and the movement is just getting up to speed, and we're just continuing. Do you want to add some final words from your side?
No, I think, as you rightly said, let's talk that over a glass of wine, yes? And sorry for those online, but you can open the fridge. Yeah. Thank you very much.